Suburbs, a place that brings a new beginning, both for couples and a Brooklyn Park neighborhood. Plus, it's already back to school for some students. We'll have tips to get kids ready to handle the homework. And one final delivery and a heartwarming goodbye in a New Hope neighborhood.
I hope he realizes that he wasn't just delivering mail.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Curiosity is building over a higher-profile new business along West River Road in Brooklyn Park.
The new wedding and event center overlooks the Mississippi River, and the business owners are a local couple who graduated from Armstrong High School and returned home after years of professional hockey. On a bluff overlooking the Mississippi River, there's a new wedding and event center transforming a site once considered an eyesore by neighbors.
They've had a lot of businesses here that have kind of abused the neighborhood, and so I think it's been nice just to have somebody that wants something positive.
A year ago, this overgrown site bore evidence of the string of different bars and nightclubs that moved in and out. But now,
There's some nice stairs that go off the garden, and the bride could walk down the stairs.
this new 11,000 square foot facility represents a new chapter for the area and a new beginning for the Leopold family.
I wanted something that my husband and I could do together. My parents own their own business together. They've always worked together. And once he was done with hockey, we knew we had to start anew.
That's what I need to know.
Jamie Leopold's husband would be NHL defenseman Jordan Leopold. In the off-season, he's practicing a new role as owner and facilities manager.
It's been a dream over the years, and it's a great plan for me when I get to the end of my career. What do you do next? It's always a question.
With 4 kids under the age of 11, the Leopolds see this new business as truly a family affair.
You'll see my wife, myself on site, so you'll get firsthand care.
We are in Mississippi Gardens Ballroom, and this is about 5,500 square feet.
With chandeliers in the ballroom hung by Jordan and windows showcasing the river view,
I wanted a place that was kind of like Princess in the Woods.
this will be a place where couples can begin their lives together.
Yes.
For the Leopolds,
Had to do the little touch of the hockey.
Jamie's idea to put decorative hockey sticks on the front door of the facility represents a nod to the past, while the business itself represents the future.
This is a lifetime investment for ourselves, our kids.
A ribbon cutting and open house will be held on Wednesday afternoon. The first wedding at Leopold's Mississippi Gardens will take place at the end of September.
More high-density housing could be coming to Maple Grove. Duffy Development Company has asked the city to approve additional apartments. The second phase of the Bottineau Ridge apartment plan calls for a 50-unit, 4-story building along 80th Avenue. But the developer wants to modify that plan to add another 50 units. Developer John Duffy says the market for workforce housing is so deep in Maple Grove that he says, quote, thousands of units are needed to meet the demand. The plan is on tonight's Planning Commission agenda. The Maple Grove City Council and the Metropolitan Council are responsible for final approval.
Brooklyn Park Police are looking for a man who robbed a woman at gunpoint at an apartment complex swimming pool. It happened at the Villa del Coronado apartments at about 11:15 Sunday night. The woman was by the pool when she was approached by a man wearing all black clothes and some sort of white cloth over his face. The robber took the money and ran away. The robber is described as a black man between 20 and 30 years old with short black hair. Anyone with information is urged to contact Brooklyn Park Police.
General Mills is taking a pledge to reduce its carbon emissions. The Golden Valley-based company promises to cut emissions by 28% in the next decade. And to do that, General Mills plans to meet with its suppliers to cut output of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. That includes better management of dairy cattle. General Mills says its biggest greenhouse gas contributor comes from the production of milk and other dairy products. The company also plans to invest in packaging that reduces its environmental footprint. A New Hope neighborhood went to great lengths today to honor a man who in many ways has become like family.
Dennis Johnson has delivered mail there for more than 2 decades. As Cassie Bonstrom reports, these neighbors made sure his last day on the job didn't go unnoticed.
The balloons tied to mailboxes and bright-colored signs made it clear to passers-by it was no average Monday in this New Hope neighborhood.
I didn't sleep. It was like being excited for Christmas.
For weeks, Linda Beering has reminded her neighbors that August 31st is the big day, the last day of work for a man who's weaved through these streets for 23 years.
Wouldn't that be sad, driving through the neighborhood your last day and nothing? You deliver your neighbor's mail for the last time and there's no send-off, no goodbye.
Linda wasn't going to let that happen, so she and her family spread the word.
He went around the neighborhood and gave everybody a little sheet with the date and let everyone know that if we didn't know Dennis was retiring, that this is his last day.
Joelle Weifels and her kids got right to work, creating a homemade sign to hang proudly on her mailbox.
We really just love him. He has been so kind to the little boys. Every day they run up and stand by the tree and he takes his time and talks to them and answers their 4-year-old questions.
After hours of anticipation, Dennis pulled up to the awaiting crowd.
We're affecting your uniform.
Successfully surprised and understandably overwhelmed.
Well, this is way above and beyond. It's not necessary.
Linda says he deserves every bit of the recognition and more.
All the different ways he had touched the neighbors that have been here for so many years. He'll carry packages up, he knows if you're sick, he knows your dogs.
Dennis couldn't stay and talk long. He had to get on with his route, but he says seeing a grateful neighborhood made his departure a little easier.
I'm gonna miss everybody on my route. That's about it. And, this makes it worthwhile. All the years, it makes it worthwhile.
In New Hope, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
Dennis worked for that route in New Hope for 23 years, but he actually worked for the Postal Service for 34 years, and we wish him the best in retirement. Good luck, Dennis. What a way to be sent off.
Absolutely. And did you see the standing ovation from someone in the front yard there as he was zooming by? Wow.
It's about as good as it gets, I think.
It is.
Coming up, getting students ready for that dreaded H word, homework.
We'll have some tips to get students prepared and focused coming up next. Then later in sports, Maple Grove and Hopkins rack up the points in a wild football game.
But first, a sultry start to September. Tuesday will feel more like weather in July. Summertime fun is already over for students in the Hopkins School District. At North Junior High School, 8th graders filed into the gym to hear a welcome back to school speech from the principal. While some Hopkins students may feel disappointed that school starts a little earlier this year, it's not all bad news.
I know a lot of kids were kind of like, why are we starting so soon? The one positive I will say, they also get out a little earlier, so June 3rd, they'll appreciate it on the back end.
Classes started earlier this year so Hopkins could get an early jump on construction projects next summer. Brooklyn Center schools also started today. And while other students are still enjoying the last few days of summer break, some folks say now is the time for students to think about homework.
Reporter Sonia Goen shows us why it's important to get a handle on homework before the school bell rings.
Homework is the last thing these skateboarders are thinking about. They'd rather hang 10 at this New Hope Park instead.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to homework, but I'm looking forward to school.
And who can blame them? They say perfecting their fancy tricks is better than hitting the books.
I don't like it at all.
But some experts say students can fall flat on their face if they don't make homework a habit.
If you don't do homework or schoolwork, whatever you choose to call it, you're going to fall behind.
Laura Davis runs a tutoring business. She says there are several things students can do to manage homework. The first is to have a designated area to do it.
We want to have it be a distraction-free area. No cell phones, no check-ins, no study buddies on the phone, Skyping or FaceTiming while we're doing homework.
Laura says it's a good idea to have a box full of supplies so you won't have to look for them and delay doing homework.
You want some extra glue sticks, get some highlighters.
While homework is important, Laura recommends taking a day off from bookwork.
You just have a time where Mom and Dad guarantees that they're not going to ask about it, and the student doesn't have to think that they need to do something about it. You do really need a cleanse from homework.
A day off from homework is probably something these skateboarders would agree on.
It's not fun to do.
In New Hope, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
But there is such a thing as too much homework, and if you think your child is being overloaded, Laura recommends talking to your child's teacher. And I think the teachers would always like to hear from parents.
Right.
They always like to have you engaged, right? Well, coming up, an extra supply of pedal power makes its way through Brooklyn Center.
But first in sports, highlights from a big 34-team volleyball tournament that tipped off a new season. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
John Jacobson now with sports. A big weekend for volleyball players, a big tournament on Saturday.
A lot of teams from around the state getting together at the Lindbergh Center for this event. The high school volleyball season is now underway. The Breakdown Sports Side Out Classic Saturday features some local teams in it. Mandy Burrian in her first year as Osseo head coach, replacing Bill Kwan. The Orioles facing Farmington in their season opener. Osseo in white. Back set, Lane Ruska to Zario Reed for the kill. And Osseo's up 11-7 in the third set. The teams had split the first two sets. Later, it's Ellie Hoyt to Christina Bowe for the kill. And the Orioles win the set 25-20. Fourth set, it's Bowe again attacking from the middle for an Osseo point as they start to take control of this match. Hoyt sets the ball outside to Kelly Auro, whose hit is off the block and down for a point. The Orioles take the fourth set 25-16. They win the match 3-1. Also at the Side Out Classic, Maple Grove took on North Branch. Mary Peterson with an ace serve coming up here. The Crimson up 8-6 in set one. Paige Aspinwall sets to Alyssa Peterson. And her hit off the tape and down for a point. The Crimson win the first one 25-17. Coach Sean Haugen's team takes the second set as well. Lauren Bright the pass. Aspinwall the set to Paige Hines for the kill. Maple Grove up again. A quick set from Aspinwall to Alexa Otto for another point. Maple Grove wins its season opener in 3. The Crimson host Osseo on Tuesday. And in one of the bigger matches at the Side Out Classic, Champlin Park, 5th in the state in Class 3A a year ago, beats preseason #1 Prior Lake in 5 sets. The Rebels lost the first 2, and then they took the final 3, including a 16-14 win in set 5 to win their season opener. Maple Grove's football team looked to bounce back from a Game 1 loss to Osseo. They took on Hopkins in a game that's safe to say the offensive players and coaches enjoyed more than the defensive guys. It was youth football night for the Crimson home opener. In just seconds in, Hopkins sets the tone for the night. Oscar Johnson to Deion Campbell over the middle. Campbell gets in the clear. Looks like he'll score, but Peter Doyle runs him down. A 66-yard play, though, does set up an early Royals touchdown. Maple Grove answers on the counter. Nice cut by Isaac Collins. He'll score from 20 yards out. Start of a big night for Collins, and it's a 7-7 game. Big play on special teams for the Crimson. Zion Allen blocks the punt. Asana Cisse scoops it up and scores for Maple Grove, and they go up 13-7. Still in the first quarter, Johnson gets the screen to Campbell. It looks like he's bottled up, but he'll get outside. A couple of blocks for him, and then he has gone 70 yards for a touchdown. And the Royals lead the Crimson 14-13 after 1. After the team's trade scores, Ryan Hanscom fights his way in for a Maple Grove touchdown. Crimson had a field goal to lead 31-21 at halftime. Each team gets 2 second-half touchdowns, but Collins and the Crimson hold on for the win. 44-36, Maple Grove is the final. Armstrong figures to have its best team in at least a decade after winning their season opener over Chanhassen. The Falcons took on St. Louis Park Friday in Plymouth. And look at this catch. True Thompson with a diving grab of Collis Barber's pass. And despite losing his helmet, it's a touchdown, and it's 7-0 Falcons. Then Barber goes the other way to race Thompson for another touchdown. And it's 14-0 Falcons. Couple of passing TDs for Armstrong. Still in the first quarter, Evan McClellan up the middle and a nice gap. He breaks one and goes 34 yards for a touchdown. The Falcons lead at 23-2 after 1 quarter. Amadou Dunbar, another good back for Armstrong. He'll race through and around the Orioles defender on this play, putting another 6 on the board for the Falcons. Dunbar, 77 yards on just 9 carries. And the Falcons go up 31-2. Barber connects with Nathan Ball, and this will be another touchdown for Armstrong. They cruise to a 52-8 win. Get ready for district rival Cooper coming up this week, and that'll be a great one coming up Thursday night, and we'll preview that one later in the week here on 12 News.
All right, big win though.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, John. Could Minnesota move up in the ranks of bicycle-friendly states?
We'll hear what bikers think as they pedal along the mighty Mississippi. We'll be right back.
A nearly 500-mile bike ride that started in northern Minnesota last week is due to wrap up on Wednesday.
Yeah, the ride follows a trail along the Mississippi River and took the riders through Brooklyn Center this weekend.
It's just like a little family moving down the road.
A sign welcomes 50 bicycle riders along the newly completed Mississippi River Trail to Brooklyn Center. It's the halfway point on a 7-day journey from the Itasca Park headwaters to the Iowa border.
It has been a great ride. I mean, this is day 4 and everything is just really good.
They're on a 480-mile inaugural ride to celebrate a biking experience that could take them a lot further.
It takes existing roadways and bike trails to make a trail from the headwaters of the Mississippi all the way to New Orleans.
And it's a chance to take in views as the Mississippi changes from a small stream at Lake Itasca to a powerful river, and to make connections along the way.
And when you come into any town on a bicycle, I think you're so approachable. So it's just been amazing when you walk. Everyone's like, "Where have you come from? What are you doing? Why are you here?" And it really just starts opening up questions.
The stop at Brooklyn Center is a place to rest, eat, and repair equipment.
Okay, thanks.
Riders hope to build on Minnesota's ranking of third friendliest biking state in the nation.
Got to get on the road. Got to move it.
They say trails have improved, including the leg they just finished in the Northwest Metro.
It is beautiful. I think, I tried to go through there a few years ago, and I winding through traffic, but now with these trails, it's just zooming through and so quiet and beautiful. For being, in the suburbs, it's a great biking experience.
By the way, the average age of the riders on this trip is 61 years old. The oldest person on the trip, you met him earlier in the story, he is 76. The ride ends when they will cross the Iowa border, and that will happen sometime on Wednesday. And can you imagine taking it a little further, all the way to New Orleans?
Wow.
I mean, somebody will do that, don't you know?
And they make a convincing case for a fun, long bike ride, right?
All the plenty of scenery.
That's right.
That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner is coming up next.